Pats Nation, what is going on? It is your boy Colby, also known as Patriots Global, back here with another one because the New England Patriots, y'all, they play football tomorrow. I mean, I have not seen the energy this big, this crazy in the Patriots locker room with the players, with the coaches, and really all of Pats Nation. The vibes last year were so horrifically terrible that nobody wanted to watch videos involving the Patriots. Y'all didn't want to hear me talk. Y'all didn't want to see them play football. And it's only week one. Okay, it's only week one in such a new process, but from what we've seen so far this offseason and through week one of the regular season, I feel like Patriots fans are back. Patriots fans are showing up. And guys, I need you to keep that energy all season long because we're taking over. We are taking over the Patriots community in a way that nobody has done so far, and I need you guys. I need you there with me, supporting me in the chat, helping grow this Patriots Global family because, guys, without you, this is nothing. Without you, I am nothing. All of this, everything that I've been doing, everything that I've been building over the last 2 years is really for nothing. It makes zero sense. This is the channel for Patriots fans to have a voice, really. Okay, you know, I feel like it's all suit and tie, previews, breakdowns. Y'all get all of that good stuff. You still get the analysis, but here on Patriots Global, I also like to give you guys a voice because I'm a fan too. You know, it's not just let me talk to you guys about whatever the higher ups tell me to, what the suit and ties tell me to. And that's the best thing here about Patriots Global. So on your way in, guys, make sure you are subscribed if you are not already. Like the video if you have not already. And let's just dive right into this. So like I mentioned, the New England Patriots, man, we're going week 2, and this is our first home game. And for anybody that's in Boston, anybody that's going to this game, y'all need to be electric. Even if you're not going to this game, but you're going to a game at some point this season, y'all need to be absolutely electric for this upcoming season because the players, the coaches, the rest of the fan base, they're going to be driving on our energy. And I feel like if Pats Nation were showing up and we are making Gillette Stadium bouncing to where it ends up being one of the hardest places to play for the 2024 season, then the team's going to be better than everybody expects, right? I feel like as fans, people forget that we have an opportunity to help our team out. It is our responsibility as fans to drive this team, to drive the players, to drive the rest of the fan base that maybe isn't as motivated, to drive the coaching staff. And if we can make Gillette Stadium bumping, if we can show that we support this team, then trust me, I promise you that is going to translate on the field. Now, guys, of course, this video is brought to you and powered by none other than BetUS. We'll talk to you guys a little bit later how you can get an exclusive limited time offer of not a 125% sign-up bonus anymore because, baby, it's the regular season. We're talking about that way 150% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits all the way up to $2,000. But we'll talk to you guys about that a little bit later. Real quick, I want to thank everybody that was already in the chat. I wanted to get this out a little sooner. Unfortunately, it has been a very busy week for your boy. I mean, I think I did 3 different collabs this week. 3 different collabs on top of hosting for Roundtable, on top of the AFC East Roundtable on Wednesday. So it has been crazy on top of me being in school, getting that sportscasting degree and having stuff that was due. So it has been a crazy week. Don't want y'all to think that I'm forgetting about you. Keep in mind, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. We're doing the preview today, but tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time, the start of Patriots versus Seahawks, we are doing our live watch party, baby. Our live watch party here on this channel, just like we did last week for the game against the Bengals. We're going to be doing it all season long. I would love for you guys to join me, get in on my thoughts, reactions, and let's all watch the game together. A lot of expectations for this team as they head into week 2, and there's no better place to be on game day than on your couch watching some football with Patriots Global on your phone. I'm going to break down the plays, break down what's happening to you. You're going to get my live thoughts, my live reactions. So if there's a surprise touchdown, you know your boy's going to be hyped. But if Jacoby Brissett throws a pick 6, knock on wood, that don't happen, you're going to see your boy freaking out and crying. But real quick, I want to give a massive shout out, like I said, to all of you guys. This was a stream that I was like an hour ago. I was like, okay, yeah, we need to do this preview. We have to make sure we get our preview out for the week. Chris, you were the first one in the chat, brother. I appreciate you. My boy Neil, you're here. Shout out to DTN. DTN, you are a big supporter here on Patriots Global, which you're also a big supporter over on the AFC East Roundtable and Roundtable Sports. I saw you in the chat, brother. And most importantly, you are the first Patriots Patreon member for the AFC East Roundtable. Massive, massive shout out, y'all. Massive shout out to DTN, because really without you, DTN, it's just me going at these other Patreon members. But you came in, as you mentioned, you came in as a voice than just me speaking for Pats Nation, sticking up for our team. And with these Jets fans and Dolphins fans going crazy, we need a little bit of extra help from the rest of Pats Nation, more than just your boy. We need you guys to stand up for this team because everybody is still doubting us. So big shout out to DTN for going ahead and becoming a Patreon member over on the AFC East Roundtable, going live every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Daniel, buddy, shout out to you. Neil, like I think I said shout out to you, but you know what? Shout out to you again, buddy. I appreciate you. New York Flight Jets Talk. What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Just about that time, right? It's just about that time to play some football. Just about that time. Good luck to your Jets, who, you know, the Jets have to get back on track, man. Jets have a lot of hype going on around that team. They're playing the Titans. Winning this game is not a statement game for the Jets, but they need to get back on track. The Jets need to win this game in order to build that momentum within themselves. So good luck to your Jets this week, buddy. Cobra, welcome. How you doing, buddy? Go Pats, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go Pats. Keeland, I believe. Said that right? Clifford. We got Luke. We got Maxwell. All right, guys. Gerard. We got my buddy Gerard up in the chat, too. Hey, yo, shout out to Gerard also. I saw you in the AFC East Roundtable chat, my buddy. I appreciate you. Now, oh, Keaton's here, too. Skipper's here. We got everybody in the chat today. But, guys, just to let you know, we also can't forget about, of course, SGT Moonshine, who donated to the channel last week, of course. And we even got some Seahawks fans in here. It is all love, guys. All love. I was on, like I said, 2 Seahawks channels earlier this week. I was on NorbCam and the Seahawks Nest. So if any Seahawks fans are here, I did kind of break that game down with them already. You guys can go ahead and check that out. But we're going to get into some of my lone thoughts here in general. Neil, we did tell them on the AFC East Roundtable. We did. And we're going to tell them again this week because none of them had the Patriots winning this week either. So hopefully the Patriots win so we can stick it to them. My boy Mike's in the chat too. Pats are not scared of Geno Smith. No, they're not. Not even in the slightest. But real quick, what I want to touch upon, guys, before we start talking about this game, there were a couple of things that happened with the Patriots today. Well, maybe there was just one, but it was a big one. It was a big one. And I didn't make a video on it because I was like, I don't think anybody wants an 8-minute video talking about Chukwuma Okorafor. I don't think you guys want that. So let's just touch upon it here quick. Chukwuma Okorafor randomly decides that he's just not going to show up to Patriots practice. Right now, he is contemplating on if he wants to play football or not. Honestly, for me, I think Chukwuma Okorafor just doesn't want to play for the Patriots because he's not starting. According to PFF, the Patriots, so far, it's only been 1 week, but so far, they have ranked the Patriots as the 32nd best offensive line in the National Football League. The Patriots can use any damn help they can get between starters, between backups. I don't care if you're an interior offensive lineman. I don't care if you're a tackle. The Patriots can use help anywhere on this offensive line. Where does Chukwuma Okorafor think that he is going to go that needs more help than the Patriots and that he's going to succeed at? Chukwuma Okorafor was the Patriots' first external free agent addition that they made this offseason. He had every single opportunity to come in and be the Patriots' starting tackle. He didn't take advantage of it. I mean, right now, are you going to tell me that Vidarian Lowe is a better tackle than Chukwuma Okorafor? Maybe so far for the Pats, he's looked like it, but realistically, Chukwuma Okorafor is a better tackle. Chukwuma Okorafor should have been able to beat out Vidarian Lowe. He should have been able to beat out the rookie tackle in Caden Wallace, and he couldn't do so. And there were some character concerns for Chukwuma Okorafor last year with the Steelers, which is why he got released. And I thought that was just a Steelers thing, because the Steelers, they kind of did him wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like last year with Pittsburgh, he had signed a 3-year, I forget what exactly the terms were, but he signed a big extension with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They end up having to release him just a year into his new deal because he was complaining about how he was being benched. At one point, he ends up being benched for the rookie Broderick Jones. I believe that's who the Steelers ended up going with. Ended up getting benched for the rookie Broderick Jones. He was happy that he was replaced and put on the bench, which I understood because you know what? He was playing good football. Chukwuma Okorafor was playing good football with the Steelers before he got benched. There was no reason ultimately to bench him. I understand that when you draft a rookie in the first round, you want to get him implemented in your first year one way or the other. And Broderick Jones, obviously a very good player. So I understand why Pittsburgh wanted him in there. But then why would you extend Chukwuma Okorafor in the offseason? You don't bench a guy if he's playing well. So I understood why Okorafor was upset, but the big reason on why they released him was because one, he wanted to, but two, he was a major issue in the locker room, voicing his displeasure and how upset he was. And I just said, you know what? That was a Pittsburgh Steelers thing. I'm not upset at all. Whatever. Come to New England. We have a starting spot for you. We suck. We suck on the offensive line. He comes here. Patriots want to convert him from a right tackle to left tackle, which I never agreed with. The entire offseason, they're bouncing Chukwuma Okorafor from left tackle to right tackle to back to left tackle to right tackle to where nobody really knew what he was. And in itself, that wasn't fair to Chukwuma Okorafor. Chuk's going to a different team, playing in a new offensive scheme with three new offensive line coaches. You probably should have played him where you knew he was going to succeed. And I do put part of that blame on the Patriots for not consistently trying to develop him in one spot. But at the end of the day, he had enough time to convert back to right tackle. It's not like the Patriots tried to throw him in back at right tackle last second. He started repping in at right tackle full time for a couple of weeks towards the end there of training camp, entering the preseason and going into the regular season. It seemed like he was going to be the Patriots' right tackle, but he was going to have depth, or not depth, but he was going to have that versatility to go back to the left side if needed. It seemed like the Patriots were going to flip-flop him depending on when Vidarian Lowe was healthy. I think they wanted Michael Onwenu to play right guard, and then I think they wanted Chukwuma Okorafor to be able to play right tackle, Vidarian Lowe to play on the left side. But then Vidarian Lowe goes down, and that kind of forces Chukwuma Okorafor to go back on over to the left side. Nonetheless, looked terrible in the preseason, both with his play and not even just his play, but his inability to line up correctly, something that he had issues with also doing in Pittsburgh. And he robbed the Patriots. Chukwuma Okorafor absolutely robbed the New England Patriots. He made $4 million by doing absolutely nothing. And he's upset because he's not a starting piece. He's benched again. As long as Vidarian Lowe is healthy, Vidarian Lowe is going to rep over Chukwuma Okorafor, and rightfully so. Chukwuma Okorafor is not good on the left side. Sorry, I see my boy Richie's texting me. But Chukwuma Okorafor was not looking good on the left side. He wasn't even looking good, period. And he got replaced by Vidarian Lowe, who we all know the story about Vidarian Lowe. He looked better at left tackle, but he still doesn't look particularly good. So long story short about this whole Chukwuma Okorafor situation, I'll be curious to see how much money the Patriots end up freeing up. But right now he is on the exempt list. Essentially what that exempt list is if he wants to retire, he can, but he can't sign with another team. This isn't a situation where Chukwuma Okorafor is let me go. I want to sign with another team. He can't do that. If he wants to return to football, the Patriots still have the rights to him. So basically, the Patriots are saying, look, if you want to retire, that's on you. We can't make you stay. But here's the thing. We're not going to just straight up release you and let you go play for a different team. You made a commitment to us. So if you're going to play football in the NFL, you're going to play it with us. So long story short, it sounds like right now Chukwuma Okorafor doesn't want to play football. He's not going to be on the Patriots roster going forward. And if he does decide he does want to come back into the NFL, the Patriots are still going to have that ownership of him. They're still going to have the rights to him as a player. Long story short, though, what I think this means for the Patriots in a nutshell in terms of their roster, offensive tackle shrinks a little bit more. And you're hoping that one of these depth pieces, one of these UDFAs, one of these guys that you picked up off of waivers, one of those guys can start to develop on the practice squad and can be elevated if need be. Vidarian Lowe is now your full-time starting tackle. He's been dealing with injuries the last few weeks, and you need him to stay healthy because if now Vidarian Lowe can't stay healthy, you are asking the rookie in Caden Wallace to be your starting left tackle. And I think that there is a reason why he's been repping with the second team. I think there's a reason why they're trying to figure out if he's a left tackle or a right tackle, and that's because Caden Wallace right now, they do not believe is a starting caliber offensive lineman. And it's fine. I mean, they drafted him in the 3rd round. He's going to take some time to develop. That's perfectly fine. That's not to say that Caden Wallace can't be your starting right or left tackle in 2025 or moving forward, but it just means that right now, a couple months into his NFL journey, he's just not ready. And that is okay. If you are not a 1st round pick, if you're not a 2nd round pick, then I'm okay with you not being ready year 1. If you're a 3rd, 4th round pick offensive tackle, you need to develop a little bit. You can't start week 1. That's perfectly fine. But we also see that the Patriots are trying to get Caden Wallace a little bit more acclimated because they were using him a good amount last week. They were using him in those jumbo offensive line packages where he's lining up as a tight end. But with Chukwuma Okorafor out, I don't know how much they're going to be able to do that because he's now going to have to sub in certain packages for the Patriots now that Chukwuma Okorafor is out. Okorafor wasn't of the Patriots starting tackle last week, but he did still get into the mix to an extent. So, I mean, it sucks for the Patriots. I know that a lot of Pats fans, you don't love Chukwuma Okorafor. You don't love Chukwuma Okorafor, but he did still serve depth. He is still a guy who has versatility with left and right side. And he's also been here. He's been here for the last few months. And the problem is that Chukwuma Okorafor is, no matter how you feel about him, he is better than any other free agent tackle you're going to get right now. Don't bring up, well, what about what's his name? Former Packer. Oh, it's escaping me right now. I want to say Basarowski. No, that's not it. You guys know who I'm talking about. There's some good veteran offensive tackles on the market, and everybody's like, well, why don't you go after them? There's a reason why those veterans are not playing football right now. They were good at one point, but they're so old, their bodies can't keep up to where even Chukwuma Okorafor is better than those guys right now. So that's kind of my thought process on this whole Chukwuma Okorafor situation. Yeah, my boy Gerard got me. There's a couple of veterans out there, but y'all know who I was talking about, so I wasn't too worried whether I got the name right or not. But yeah, so Patriots O-line situation gets a little bit worse. They were 32nd ranked against the pass last week. They were 24th best in the NFL when it came to run blocking. So at the end of the day, Okorafor, he isn't your starting tackle, so it's not a massive problem. But it becomes a much bigger problem if now Vidarian Lowe or Michael Onwenu goes down. The depth at tackle was already very thin. Now it goes like this. Now you're essentially relying on, like I said, those waiver claims to play a bigger part for you in just year 2. But let's get into this Seahawks and Patriots game. I want to share my screen because I want to pull up the injury report like I did for you guys last week because there's some big names here that we need to keep an eye on. Let's do it like this. I like this better. So right now, this is your final injury report. Ultimately, we'll have to see what guys do play and don't play tomorrow before the game. I'll be tweeting that out, so make sure you guys follow me at Patriots Global too. I'll be tweeting out, what guys look like they're going to be playing, what guys are warming up, what guys look like they'll probably be out. But Patriots, their injury report, it shrank as the week goes on, and that's what you'll love. Now, only one player out for New England. That's guard City So. He's dealing with an ankle injury that he suffered week 3 against the Commanders again in the preseason. He was out last week, so this isn't really anything too different. Your starting guards at this point are going to be Michael Jordan over on the left side and Layden Robinson over at right guard, same as it was last week. You're probably going to have some instances with Layden Robinson where there's some growing pains because he's a rookie, but he's dominant. He's just inconsistent right now, and that's because of those rookie moments, that rookie development that he's going through right now. I think as the season progresses, as we reach, let's say halfway through the season, I think Layden Robinson is going to be a much, much different player. And I think that he is going to be a starting guard for the Patriots. And it's going to come down to 2 players, right? Honestly, you could even throw 3. You could throw Cole Strange in there. Michael Onwenu, at some point, it's likely he gets kicked back into right guard. He's an all-pro right guard. He's a good starting tackle. At the end of the day, if they want to get the best out of their players and that contract they gave him, by 2025, you do want to put Michael Onwenu back in over at right guard, which only leaves one more position. That's left guard. And is it going to be City So, who played well last year? Is it going to be Layden Robinson, the rookie who's looked really good for them over on the right side. Is Cole Strange coming back, your former first-round pick? Like, there are questions about, who all is going to be able to play for this team moving forward. You would imagine that one of City So or Layden Robinson is going to end up being your backup guard, but unfortunately, you can only play two guys, right? You can only play two guys because of it being left guard and right guard, only two positions there. What guys are they going to ultimately end up going with? My God, I don't know what's going on with me right now. In 2025, but no players doubtful for the Patriots. A couple of players that are questionable. Kyle Duggar popped up on the injury report this week with an ankle injury. JaMychal Hasty added just a couple of days ago. He was a kind of a random last-minute surprise there. Looks like he maybe nicked something up in practice, but he's dealing with a knee injury. I would expect him to play. Layden Robinson dealing with a shoulder injury. I expect him to play. And Dietrich Wise also dealing with a shoulder injury. I'm not sure what's going on with all of these guys' shoulders, but clearly something's going on. We gotta teach these guys how to tackle, because the last thing you want is a long injury report. But there were some guys that were removed from this list. Now, Antonio Gibson, he was added last week, which is why he was a little bit limited in that week 1 matchup against the Bengals. A lot of people asking, why wasn't he getting a lot of opportunities? Why didn't he look himself? He was dealing with an injury, but now that he's removed, there's absolutely no excuse. I think this is the game against the Seahawks where we're going to see more of a plan for Antonio Gibson. If they don't really play him or he doesn't look all that good, it's not because he's dealing with an injury. It's just because of the usage or the schematic fit. So I'm really excited to see what they do with Gibson, just because they had to run Ramondre Stevenson through the ground week 1 against the Bengals because they just didn't have another back that they trusted. You're not going to go with Kevin Harris. You're not really going to roll with JaMychal Hasty unless you need to. So really your two backs that are going to be primarily used are Antonio Gibson and Ramondre Stevenson. So definitely excited to see kind of the usage for him. Patriots really didn't run any screens last week. That's something I would like to see this week, especially with, I think, a much better defense. Bengals have a good defense, but I do think that the Seahawks have a much better defense, especially a much better secondary, which unfortunately with these receivers, Jacoby Brissett's going to have to sit back there for a little while longer. One of the best ways to get the ball out of his hands really immediately and still pick up yardage is by those screen plays, and Antonio Gibson has been that top guy for them on those screen plays. Anthony Jennings also removed. Vidarian Lowe looks like he's officially 100% fully healthy. He was removed, which is very good. Jabril Peppers and Josh Uche also removed. For the most part, this is the same list as the Patriots from last week. City So, out. Nobody doubtful. I expect all of the questionable players to play in this game without a doubt. Now, moving on to the Seattle Seahawks. This is where it gets interesting, guys. So, 2 players already officially out for the Seahawks here. Linebacker Uchenna Nwosu, I believe I'm saying that right. He's dealing with a knee injury. He's actually more of an edge rusher, good pass rusher for them. Very, very underrated pass rusher for them. From what I understand, he got nicked up last week, and that's why he's out now. That is definitely a loss for them, at least from what I heard from both of the Seahawks guys that I linked up with earlier this week for collabs. And then tight end Pharaoh Brown dealing with the foot injury. As Patriots fans, we know who Pharaoh Brown is. And I don't want to say this is a massive, massive loss to the Seahawks, just because realistically, they're not going to run a lot of 2 tight end sets. Pharaoh Brown is just that backup tight end, but he still serves a purpose. He's still a very good blocking tight end, a guy who can get out there in the open field and make some plays, be hard to tackle. Again, we know as Patriots fans, the underrated player that Pharaoh Brown is. And unfortunately, in this game, he will not be getting his revenge because he will officially be out. Now, Noah Fant is their starting tight end. He was on that injury report earlier on this week as a limited participant. They did remove him, as you guys can see down here. They did remove him from the list, so it looks like he's healthy and he's 100% good to go. But keep in mind that, again, that starting tight end for them was dealing with an injury earlier this week. Hopefully he doesn't nick anything, but that will be something to watch because your backup tight end is also officially out. Now, this is where I think the game can be changed. And this is 2 key players for the Seahawks on offense. Running back Kenneth Walker, he's dealing with an oblique injury. And tackle, their starting right tackle, George Fant, also dealing with a knee injury. These guys aren't 100% out, but they are doubtful. For me, the way that I see it, if you are out, obviously you're out. You're not playing. There's no way, shape, or form. Doubtful is you're more than likely not going to play in this game, but we'll see how you're feeling before, see if there's anything that we can do to surprise anybody and see if, if there's any way that last second you're able to still potentially play. Doubtful is just, it's not 100% that you're out, but it's more likely than not that you're going to be out. And then questionable, for me, questionable is really the opposite of doubtful. Questionable to me is you're more than likely going to play, but don't pin them in necessarily. And if they do play, they're probably going to be limited to an extent. Kenneth Walker is a massive, and I mean a massive, massive loss to this team, to where I felt like if Kenneth Walker did play, it hurts the Patriots. It hurts the Patriots' chances at winning because it makes the Seattle Seahawks a multi-dimensional offense here. Kenneth Walker is such a good running back, and to me, he's one of the most underrated running backs in the entire National Football League. And we saw that last week when they played I'm trying to think who the heck the Seattle Seahawks played last week. It's escaping me right now. The Broncos, that's who it was. When they played the Broncos, they were able to come back from behind a little bit. I mean, it was a close game, but the Seattle Seahawks came back from behind when it mattered the most, and they ended up putting the stomp on the Bengals, and a big part, or not the Bengals, on the Broncos, in large part due to Kenneth Walker and his ability on the ground and to pick up those tough yardages and to make, again, the Seahawks offense multi-dimensional, because we all know their passing offense. We know that the Seahawks have a very good passing offense. Geno Smith has really been able to revitalize his career with the Seattle Seahawks. And obviously DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith-Njigba. That's a very good trio. I mean, again, Noah Fant over at tight end. To where if you didn't know if they were going to run the ball or pass the ball, the Patriots are going to have to sit back in zone and kind of just see what the team was going to do, right? As where if you know that Kenneth Walker's not playing and their dynamic running back is out for the game, then that switches things up, because I really don't like the Seahawks running back depth all that much. Like, I don't really think it's anything to write home about. It's nothing that scares me, especially going up against this Patriots defense, who last year was the second best run defense in the National Football League and looked great last week against Zach Moss. I think that Zach Moss is a better running back than any backup running back here for the Seattle Seahawks. So if the Patriots then are able to shut down the Seattle Seahawks running game without Kenneth Walker, then you know what the Hawks are going to do. You know that they're going to want to pass the ball to DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Noah Fant, in order to be successful. Because again, that now makes them, like I've been saying, one-dimensional. Take away the running game, make them beat you through the air, play zone, and have an extra defensive back on the field in order to lock that down. And now you're limiting what the offense for the Seahawks is going to be able to do. And we know the blueprint. The blueprint for the Patriots to win games this upcoming season is by limiting opposing offenses to very minimal points. I'm talking like 17 points maximum if the Patriots are going to play in this game, or the Patriots are going to win these games, because the Patriots, I don't have faith in them, at least not right now. They've shown me nothing to have faith that they can score 20 plus points and keep up with offenses that are lighting up the defense. The defense, again, is going to have to, at maximum, allow 17 points. Realistically, though, they're going to have to keep it 10 to 13 if they truly want to have a confident chance at winning these games. And again, that's what they're going to do here. Dominant defense, try to hold the Seattle Seahawks to somewhere between 10 to 13 points, to where all the Patriots have to do is exactly what they did against the Bengals last week. That's get into the end zone one or two times, kind of extend that lead, but really rely on Joey Sly to just consistently kick his field goals and just consistently put up points, to where this isn't going to be a blowout, but there's going to be no wins the Patriots have this upcoming season that are blowouts. Whether it's winning or losing, the Patriots games all season long are going to be close. But as long as they can hold those opposing offenses, again, to like 10, 13 points, you feel pretty confident with Jacoby Brissett, as long as they're healthy, Jacoby Brissett's ability to drive down the field and at the very least put Joey Sly into a field goal position, to where, again, we're not going to be getting into the end zone a whole lot, but we're at least going to be able to consistently be putting up 3 points, right? But moving on here next, like I said, George Fant, their starting right tackle, dealing with a knee injury. He is doubtful for this game too. I don't love that Seattle Seahawks offensive line. In fact, let me double check real quick because I know PFF just dropped those O-line rankings, and I want to make sure I know where the Seahawks were. So, like I said, the Patriots had the 32nd ranked offensive line. The Seattle Seahawks had the 27th ranked offensive line. Now losing your starting right tackle, I mean, that brings them even more back. Now, the Patriots went up against the Bengals last week, who I think have a very underrated offensive line. The Bengals aren't too far behind. They had the 25th best ranked O-line, but again, they are still going up against, whether George Fant plays or not, the Patriots are going up against a worse O-line than they did last week. And the Patriots had that defense, a lot of really good moments with that pass rush. And the thing, too, is that New England was one of the least blitzing defenses from week one, which surprised me. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I thought that the Patriots would be one of the most blitzing defenses in the entire National Football League, especially week one against Joe Burrow. They didn't do that. And I see actually, looks like my boy Michael's coming in here saying Fant is our backup right tackle. So I was told by multiple sources he was your starting right tackle. But if that's not the case, that's not the case. Nonetheless, the Seahawks do still have a really bad offensive line. I mean, that's coming from a Patriots fan, so I guess that doesn't mean too much. But nonetheless, I'm not all that worried because, again, the Patriots didn't blitz. They got home against one of the best tackle duos in the National Football League with Orlando Brown and Trent Brown, and absolutely dominated. The guy that led the Patriots pass rush being Keon White, who had 2 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, a forced fumble. And they're finding ways to get him those mismatches. You know, Keon White isn't just rushing off of the left side consistently. He's going up against left tackles. He's going up against right tackles. He's rushing from the interior. He's being a stand-up pass rusher, but also putting his hand in the dirt. They're using him in a multitude of different ways to get him those matchups, those favorable matchups for him. And I can only imagine what the Patriots defense, is going to be like when they start blitzing these linebackers more. You know, when Sione Takitaki comes back, having him blitzing off the edge, having Christian Ellis blitz off the edge. Raekwon McMillan looked really, really good as an edge rusher. I think it's only a matter of time before we start seeing him be a big piece for the Patriots' third down defense also. But this is what your overall injury report is going to be looking like. Like I said, they do have a couple of guys that are questionable with Terrell Dodson, linebacker Jerome Baker, who we all know very well as a former Dolphins linebacker. Very, very good player. I expect both of them to play. Like I said, sometimes those questionable guys can be limited, but usually, despite being questionable, you do end up playing. So, especially with Nwosu out, I would expect both of these guys to play for them. But make sure you guys let me know, what are your thoughts? I mean, you just saw the Patriots injury report. You saw the Seahawks injury report. Is there one guy on either team that you're like, that's a big loss and that could definitely change the overall trajectory of the team? What does that sound, man? Hopefully y'all can't hear that, but there's a big sound outside. Real quick, I do see we have a super chat. And of course, whenever we get a super chat, we do have to go to them. Super chats get priority. Donations always get priority. They do go a massive, massive way at supporting the channel. But my boy SGT Moonshine coming back in here in another live stream, just like you did last week, with a massive donation. Brother, I appreciate you so much. You said, wanted to share my winnings from my bet versus the Pats Bengals game. I appreciate that, brother. Let me know your bet. What was the bet that you won? I would love to know, man. I would love to know. You said, love you, PG. Keep up the awesome work. Also, everyone, keep Tua in your prayers. He might be a quarterback for a division rival, but he's also a human being. 100%. And I said this on Twitter. I said this on TikTok. Tua needs to retire. And I know we're talking about the Seahawks game here, but real quick, Tua needs to retire. Two concussions in 1 week in 2022. The Dolphins coaching staff didn't do right by Tua. They told him he could still play. Whether Tua wanted to play or not, it was very clear that he couldn't. And what happened a couple of nights ago, he went into like this fencing mechanism. And basically what that is like when you saw his hand like go like this and like start like cramping and like slowly moving like that. That's actually called a fencing mechanism. It's something that happens when you do get a concussion and you actually lose consciousness for a period of time. The fact that that's happened to him twice now, the fact that he has gotten hit so damn hard to where his hands are crinkling up, he's losing consciousness, that happening one time is more than enough. That happening multiple times should be enough for him to be out of the league. And everybody's trying to say, well, if Tua just puts on the Guardian cap, he'll be fine. To me, that's not the case. Tua should have had that Guardian cap on before week 1. He should have been using that the second that they introduced him, knowing his history, and he didn't. It doesn't matter moving forward. It's not like he tore his bicep or something like that to where it's like, okay, as long as I am precautious moving forward, I'll be fine. Like, no, bro. Each concussion you have makes your situation worse and worse and worse. I got one concussion. I got hit by a bus in 2019. I want to say it was my senior year, and I still deal with problems, bro. Like my mind, my concentration, the way that I formulate words has never been the same after I got one. I can only imagine how it is for Tua. His concussions looked a lot worse, and he's had 3 of them. 3 of them. And what you don't understand is that I feel like because it's mental, like it's inside, it has to do with your brain. It's not like a broken bone where it heals itself. People don't understand necessarily the implications of getting a concussion, because you can die from those things. And like I said, each one you get makes you significantly more at risk. I think everybody should keep Tua in his thoughts. Honestly, I hope that Tua takes time away from football right now to just think about what he wants to do. I don't think Tua should be back in a week or 2 weeks whenever he clears concussion protocol. I think that he needs to really take some time, figure out how he can be healthy, get an opinion from multiple doctors on what exactly he can do, get multiple brain scans, make sure everything is okay, because let me tell you, dude, there are a couple things when it comes to injuries or health-related problems that you never mess with. Your heart and your head. Those to me are the 2 big things where if you are having issues, you take it serious. This is more than football. It's more about winning games at the end of the day. And I know he signed a massive contract not too long ago, but at the end of the day, this is about Tua the human being. And I know he's an in-division rival, but Tua is one of the best human beings in this entire National Football League. Take him off the field and just go listen to him at press conferences. Figure out what he does for Florida, for Miami, off the field. One of the best true human beings in the NFL. He doesn't deserve this. And at the end of the day, I would love to continue to see what Tua can do for the world, what he can continue to do for the community outside of football. He won't be able to do that if he passes. It's not worth it, man. He's made enough money to set himself up for the future. And at this point, I think he should take a step back. But real quick, shout out again to SGT Moonshine for the massive donation. Also, shout out to my boy McGo for the $2 donation, man. I feel like I haven't seen you, man, in a minute. It's great to see you back. You've been here since the start of the channel. Like what, 2017, 2018? McGo, big part of the evolution here at Patriots Global says, this is another Andrew Luck situation we got here. McGoat, I think you're right. And nobody's talked about that. At least I haven't heard anybody talk about the fact that, like, with this Tua situation, it is very Andrew Luck-esque, to where Luck was continuously getting injured. Great player. I mean, Luck is way better, far more talented than Tua is and ever will be. But he had to step away from football because he was constantly dealing with injury scares. He was constantly dealing with health problems, to where it got to the point where Andrew said, I'm a damn good football player. I could be one of the best all time, but it's not worth the health. Because again, what Tua has to think about is not just Tua now, but Tua has to think about longevity. How long does Tua want to live? Does Tua want to see his grandchildren? Does Tua want to have a family? Does Tua want to get married? If he wants to do all these things, he's still very, very young. These are all things he still needs to do. And I think when you reach a certain age, now this is my philosophy, I feel like when you reach a certain age, whether you are married, whether you're in a relationship, whether you have kids, no matter what your circumstance is, you have to think not just about yourself, you have to think longevity, and you have to think about your future family. Like me personally, I'm 22 years old, right? A lot of living to do, a lot of stuff to still figure out. I'm not married right now. I don't plan on having kids anytime soon. But I'm getting to the point in my life where if I'm buying a car, or I'm buying a house, all of my life decisions, I'm thinking about, okay, well, how is this going to affect my future wife? How is this going to affect my future kids, my future grandchildren, all of these things that I still want in life. And I think that's exactly what Tua needs to do. Andrew Luck was able to take a step back for these exact reasons. And I think that Tua now needs to take a step back and think about from a much larger kind of view, a much larger perspective, which I just don't necessarily think that overall he has. But let's get back here to the kind of breakdown of this game. Again, shout out my boy Mick Goat for the $2 donation, brother. I appreciate you so much. By the way, if you are a Patreon member and you would like to come in and share your thoughts on this game, your final thoughts, your final predictions, I did upload that. I did upload that, so you guys can join now if you are a Patreon member. If you want to be a Patreon member and you want to, come in and you want to share your thoughts on this game, link in the description box below. I think it's like $10 a month. You support the channel tremendously, and you get to come on here for post games, for game previews, and share your overall thoughts here live on the channel. K Nick says Tua has a wife and 2 young kids. Does he really? See, look, it's an in-division rival, okay? It's an in-division rival. So I don't necessarily know what's going on with like Tua and everybody behind the scenes. Like, I know Josh Allen ain't wifed up or have kids. I didn't know Tua has a wife and 2 young kids. If that's the case, even more, if you are his family, if you are his wife, how are you allowing him to play football? I understand at the end of the day, everybody's an individual. You come together to support each other's lives. But I'm just saying, like, if I saw my parents or I saw my significant other doing something that was going to affect them and their lives, their life rather, I'll be telling them they got to get out. I feel like it's the same thing with Antonio Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Antonio Brown. And I feel like Tua's situation's worse. But if you look at Antonio Brown and you look at where he is mentally and what happened with him, in my mind, that's because of the hits he's taken. AB took so many damn blows to the head. That man got CTE. 100%. It's not even a question. That man has brain damage, and that's why he's acting the way he is. That's the last thing you want from Tua. You don't want him to now become disabled because of football too. It's just not worth it. But real quick, I do want to talk about a couple of comparisons about this game too. Give you guys kind of just an idea on where the Patriots are defensively and offensively, where the Seahawks offensively versus defensively. So in terms of passing yards per game, right now, the Seahawks are averaging about 158. They are better in that category versus the Patriots 120 yards passing per game. Now, rushing per game, the Patriots are the more dominant team here. Patriots are averaging about 190 overall rush yards per game here, as where the Seahawks are averaging about 146. As you can see, they're not too far behind each other. I mean, when you combine those, they're pretty much neck and neck. Seahawks have been better in passing than the Patriots. Patriots have been better in rushing rather than the Seahawks. But if you combine those two offensively in terms of total yards, they are two very, very similar teams. Now, in the takeaway battle, the Patriots are currently doing significantly better. The Patriots are averaging 0 takeaways, giveaways, while the Seahawks had 2 giveaways this past week. And honestly, even on special teams, they just did not look all that good, turning the ball over on offense, turning the ball over on special teams, as where the Patriots, they almost did, but they got lucky enough to win that battle in every single phase. They were able to get takeaways on defense, but special teams, offensively, they never turned over the ball. Get this, guys. This is a bit of a crazy stat here. Third down efficiency. The Patriots offense is converting on third down 40% of the time. That's because of Ramondre Stevenson, 100%. The fact that we have a terrible offensive line that can't block for its life, and Jacoby Brissett is running as soon as the ball is snapped, sometimes getting sacked as soon as the ball is snapped, and we are still converting on almost half of our third down opportunities is absolutely wild. The Seahawks, they're converting on third down about 33% of the time. You had Kenneth Walker last week. You got Geno Smith, who's a multi-dimensional quarterback. I mean, he can scramble if he needs to. He can create some magic back there and throw the ball. You got DK Metcalf, Noah Fant, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith, and Najigba, and you're still only converting 33% of the time. By the way, I do feel like the Bengals have a better defense than the Broncos. I like some of those Broncos pieces, but I do think that the Patriots went up against the harder defense last week, and they still were able to put up better offensive numbers. Now, when it comes to points per game, it's not really all that close. I mean, despite the statistics we just talked about, the Seahawks are the much better team in terms of the amount of average points that they are putting up. They're averaging about 26 points per game. Patriots are averaging about 16. That is obviously 10 points less, which is a massive, massive difference. Now, guys, real quick, before we continue on, you guys know that I got to give a shout out to the best damn sportsbook on the platform, and those are my buddies over at BetUS. You guys already know that right now you can get an exclusive limited time offer that you have never had the opportunity to get before. You're not going to find an opportunity like this anywhere else. I promise you that. BetUS taking care of you guys the way that nobody else has. They are upping their offer of a 125% sign-up bonus. They are now giving you a 150. Yeah, you heard that right. 150% sign-up bonus on not just your first deposit, not just on your second, but they're giving you a 150% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits all the way up to $2,000 when you use the promo code YouTube150. That is YouTube150. All you guys have to do if you are interested in getting this deal is you just go down to your browser, whatever you got. You just look up BetUS, download their app, sign up. It'll say if you have a promo code, you use that YouTube 150, and again, you'll get that 150% sign-up bonus. BetUS can also give you a 200% crypto deposit bonus, a 10% back on your net losses 2 times a year, and they can also give you your very own personalized account manager. They got the fastest payouts in the industry. They have a fast and easy deposit and withdrawal process, 24/7 personalized service, 365 days a year, live wagering on all major games, and the best betting variety in the business. Of course, so most importantly, guys, if somebody you know, somebody you love, they are dealing with an issue, please, 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 for the love of God, reach out and get the help you need. This stuff is fun, but it's only fun when you bet what you can ultimately afford to lose. Don't expect to make a living off of this. Don't expect this to be what's going to pay for your dinner. If you just want to have a little bit of extra fun this upcoming football season, this is just the way to do so. If you need help, again, please reach out and get that help you need. Reach out to me and I can help you. But BetUS on their website also has a way that you guys can get that help too, which is really, really awesome of them. While we're talking about the Seahawks game, I do just want to kind of real quick, if you're interested in putting some lines on this game, what the odds currently are. Guys, the New England Patriots are the freaking underdogs yet again. At home. At home, we put off the biggest damn upset of the week. And this is our first home game, and we still can't get some love. Look, I understand that the Seahawks won, but the Patriots were winning against the damn Bengals the entire game. They never lost a lead. They never had to catch up. The game was never tied. The Patriots were winning the entire game against what BetUS projected to be the largest deficit out of all games from week 1. So you know what? That's okay. I'm fine with it because they are giving you, the best damn fans out there, my damn family, they're giving you guys free money because right now, again, with the Patriots being the 3-point underdogs, which I actually do have this game coming down to 3 points, so that's fine. I just have the 3 points going another way. Take the Patriots at plus 150. Put down an easy 10, 15, maybe $20 on it, depending on what you have. And go ahead and buy yourself, your boo thing, maybe your family, your mom, your dad. Buy yourself a nice dinner Sunday night after the game when you hit on this line. By the way, for the over or under 38 points, man, I'm taking the under. Both of these offenses are going to struggle. Both of these defenses are very, very good. This thing is a guaranteed under 38 points. But again, make sure you guys check out BetUS for a 150% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits all the way up to $2,000. Now, another shout out here from my buddy Mick Go with another $2. He said, hearing that Kenneth Walker is doubtful to start. Yeah, so we went over that, I want to say, probably like 10 or 15 minutes ago. So if you didn't hear that part of the video, I definitely recommend checking that out. But yeah, major loss. I don't think he ends up playing, and that is a major loss to where if Kenneth Walker played, I was like, I might have to take the Seahawks here. I might have to take the Seahawks because that's like their Ramondre Stevenson. But now that you take away RB1, which is a big reason why they won last week, I don't like the depth they have at running back. It's nowhere near what Kenneth Walker is and provides, and it makes them a very one-dimensional offense now to where, yes, they have a really good receiving core, but it's very obvious how they're going to want to beat the Patriots. If you don't have Kenneth Walker, they're going to try to beat the Patriots passing through the air to DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith-Njigba. That's going to help the Patriots game plan a little bit easier to where if they have to worry about the pass and they have to worry about Kenneth Walker in the running game, it's going to dilute a little bit on what they could do if they could just focus on one thing. Now that they can focus on one thing, I think that the game plan defensively is almost exactly what it was last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, where clearly the Patriots have had a lot of success. So again, shout out to my boy, Miko. Guys, 119 of you guys watching right now. If you guys are over on Twitter, we got 59 of you guys watching on Twitter. What is up, my Twitter family? Make sure you guys, if you are on Twitter, go ahead and check us out on YouTube at Patriots Global so you can be a part of the live discussion. We would love to have you on YouTube. Make sure you guys, of course, are subscribed if you aren't subscribed already to the channel, and leave a big like here, because when you guys like the video here on YouTube, it helps out the algorithm tremendously and helps support us, tremendously. But so I just went through those offensive statistics real quick. I want to go through the defensive statistics. Now, keep in mind, too, if you are a Patreon member, that link is up for you guys. I know my boy DTN is behind the scenes. We're going to bring him on here shortly. So make sure you guys go ahead. And if you are a Patreon member, go ahead and click that link so you can come in and share your thoughts before we end off today's video. Michael said he likes his depth chart. Real quick, I can actually tell you exactly what that Seahawks depth chart is. Yeah, so Michael buddy, real quick, I really appreciate you for being here because you're a Seahawks fan, and I nothing but love here, buddy. Nothing but love here. But earlier you had told me, oh wait, can I move myself? Crap. Hold up. Okay, so earlier you had told me that George Fant, you said I was wrong. You said George Fant is not our starting right tackle. He's our backup right tackle. No, he's not. According to your depth chart right here, George Fant is your starting right tackle. So I did have it right. Damn, Michael, you had me thinking that I wasn't right out here. Making me feel stupid about myself. I was right. Always trust your gut, y'all. Always trust your gut. But even if you look at the running back, Zach Charbonnet, Kenny McIntosh, I like Zach Charbonnet. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a better receiving back than Kenneth Walker is. But none of these guys scare me. On the ground, none of these guys scare me. They're not dynamic enough, especially not dynamic enough to make up for the lack of an offensive line. Maybe if you had a top-tier offensive line, like if you had maybe, let's say, like the Chiefs offensive line or like the Detroit Lions or Eagles offensive line, maybe those guys could continue to get it going on the ground without Kenneth Walker. But when you have a bad O-line and you're missing your star running back who is a bulldozer, I mean, Kenneth Walker is a bulldozer at that running back position, then, I mean, how do you expect your backup guys to get going? I'm not worried about them. Like I said, I do like Zach Charbonnet more specifically as a receiving back, but I'm really not scared of the depth they have at running back. Nobody compares to their starting running back in Kenneth Walker. How do I get back here? Real quick, I just wanted to pull that up because I was like, wait a minute, hold up. I gotta check the facts here real quick. Facts are officially checked. We got another donation here real quick from my boy SGT Motion coming back at it with another donation. My brother, I appreciate you so freaking much. You said, to answer your question earlier, I want $100. Let's go, Moonshine. I won $100 earlier on BetUS. Bet on the Pats to win and bet on the under for total points. I think it was under 38.5. Moonshine, I'm on page with you. We are on par right now. That's actually exactly what I did. That's the exact bet that I placed. I said Patriots to win because it's in the plus area and everybody's doubting us. Seahawks have injury problems. We're at home coming off of a massive win. Take the Patriots to win the game. Take the under. Two defenses going up against each other. Place an easy $10 on that, and you are going to make some bread, bro. Moonshine, bro. Absolutely love it. Thank you for supporting me. And thank you, of course, for supporting the sponsors that support the channel over at BetUS. But like I said, we got into the offensive statistics about both of these teams a little bit earlier. I want to get to real quick the defensive statistics on both of these teams to give an idea, because Let me tell you, there are a lot of parallels between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. These two teams play each other very, very close every single year. Think back to the Super Bowl. It came down to a Malcolm Butler interception. Think about 2016. Patriots end up losing at Gillette Stadium because there was no defensive pass interference called. You know, that final throw to Rob Gronkowski from Tom Brady, back of the end zone. Gronk was clearly held and no flag was called. Game was over. Patriots lose. Game also came down to the wire. And then 2020 with Cam Newton, it came down to the 1 yard line. Patriots just had to punch it in with Cam Newton and they couldn't. They lose. In fact, actually, now that I think back to it, the Patriots were on like the 1 or 5 yard line in that 2016 game with Brady and Gronk too. So guys, these games come down to one possession every single time they play each other. And it seems like it comes down to somewhere between like the 1 to 5 yard line. Like you're in the red zone knocking and either you're converting last second or you're not converting. And in recent years, us Patriots, we have not converted. So hopefully that's not how this game goes. I think there's a lot of parallels between Gerard Mayo and McDonald there, the new head coach for the Seattle Seahawks, both defensive-minded coaches. Gerard Mayo was the youngest head coach in the NFL. Then McDonald gets hired by the Seahawks. He becomes the youngest head coach. So it is the two youngest head coaches in the active NFL right now going up against each other. And ultimately, who's going to be better? It's going to come down to game plan at the end of the day. But when it comes to pass yards per game, the Patriots are allowing a little bit more than the Seahawks are. The Patriots are allowing about 154 pass yards per game, as where the Seahawks are allowing 132. Keep in mind, the Patriots also went up against one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Joe Burrow last week. The Seahawks went up against a rookie in Bo Nix. Not to take away anything. I love that defense. I love their core, but just put that caveat on it. Rushing yards per game, the Patriots win here. The Patriots are allowing 70 rushing yards per game, as where the Seahawks, they're allowing about 99 rush yards per game. I think New England's going to have a harder time rushing the ball than they did last week, but I do think that there is a little bit of an opportunity still for New England to be able to get Ramondre going. Let's keep in mind, Ramondre ran for 120 yards last week. 119 of those came after contact. So the O-line, it's not like it's doing anything special in the running game and opening up holes for Ramondre to get going. It's just Ramondre's pushing through and bulldozering through every defender that is still coming his way. Now, when it comes to takeaways, the Seahawks defense is slightly better than the Patriots. They're averaging about 3 takeaways on defense, as where the Patriots are averaging 2. Third down efficiency, the Patriots are better. 36% to the Seattle Seahawks 27%. Very, very close, but so far, when it comes to that pass D, being able to stop opposing teams on third, New England has been better. And then points per game, the Seahawks are averaging or allowing rather about 20 points per game, where the Patriots are only allowing about 10 points per game. So like I said, these offenses and these defenses for these teams, they are very, very similar. A lot of parallels. You look at the statistic, they're also very, very similar. So it is going to be a very interesting game to see how this ultimately comes down. But guys, I want to know your thoughts. Sorry, I see, like I said, I saw Michael up in here. We got a Seahawks fan here, guys. So we have to show some love, right? I mean, a Seahawks fan coming into the rival's house and supporting. Shout out to you, Michael. You said, I think you missed my chat. He's technically number 2 because Lucas is hurt. Exactly. I understand that he's not your starting overall when it comes to who's best on your roster, but he is still your number 1 because the guy ahead of him is dealing with injury problems. So nonetheless, he was supposed to start for you in this game. He's your starting right tackle right now, and now he's out too. Your O-line is worse than the Broncos, and how many yards did they rush for? Your coach is not near the offensive play caller as Peyton. How do you think you'll score more than 14 points? I'm not saying we will score more than 14 points, but I'm not worried. How did the Patriots score 16 points last week? They were able to get down and score in the end zone one time. And then after that, they were set up excellently with offensive field position. Their defense made plays. The Patriots special teams made plays, which helped them significantly in getting the ball back, putting them in good field goal position. And Joey Sly was 3 for 3 last week. He put up 9 out of the Patriots' 16 total points. The name for the game is just not turning the ball over offensively. If they can do that and they can force turnovers from the Seattle Seahawks offense, then I think that they can win this game, and I feel confident with that. I don't think that's crazy. I mean, yeah, do the Patriots have the better overall offense? No, and I have not once said that. But the Patriots do have a much better rushing attack. Also, what is the Patriots offense? You know they're going to run it through Ramondre. You know that they're a run-centric, run-first offense. But other than that, under Alex Van Pelt, who this is really his first time calling plays since 2019, I think it was, the Seattle Seahawks don't exactly know the philosophy on offense right now, because even the Patriots are still trying to figure out what exactly that philosophy is. Even us fans are still trying to figure out what exactly that philosophy is. So, I mean, I'll get into my score prediction at the end, but I don't see why the Patriots can't score somewhere between 10 to 16 points on the Seattle Seahawks defense. As long as the Patriots defense and special teams, again, can make plays and put them into a good position, the Patriots don't need to continuously get into the end zone. That's the misconception. All they need to do is get into the end zone 1, maybe 2 times. And then what they need to do is not turn over the ball, and at the very, very least, put themselves into field goal position. Because if they can limit the Seattle Seahawks offense to doing things, if they can force turnovers and force punts, but they can continuously go down the field and not even get into the end zone, but consistently go down and put Joey Sly in field goal position and make these points. Yes, it's 3 points compared to 7, but they're going to add up and they're going to stack up over time. We're not going to win pretty games. I said that earlier on. Patriots aren't going to win these games confidently. It's going to be close, whether they win or lose. But a win is a win. At the end of the day, I don't care if the Patriots are blowing teams out and winning. I don't care if we're winning by 1 point. At the end of the day, if they have a good enough philosophy with how bad this roster is, if they have a good enough philosophy to still win games, that says a lot about the coaching staff. But let's go ahead and let's bring on our Patreon members before we end off today's stream. ETM, buddy, how we doing?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for coming on. And more specifically, thank you for coming on last week to help me roast the AFC East Roundtable, because boy, oh boy, did they need it.
Yeah, I could have done a better job with that, just because I did have the YouTube stream on as well, just because I want to see it as well. But now that I just have the StreamYard thing on, I think that the audio should not echo a bit. So I think it should work out for us. And I'm excited for this Wednesday, just so I can roast Richie and the rest of the Jets fans this Thursday night primetime game after the game against Seattle.
Do you think that they'll win this week? Do you think the Jets will win this week against the Titans, or do you think they lose?
I don't know, because I know that the Titans have a good defense, and surprisingly, I know that the Titans offense is not that good, because I know Will Levis didn't perform well, and the reason why the Bears got points just because the Bears have a great defense. So this is going to be a test for the Jets to see if they can beat a more easier opponent. But if they can't, I can't wait to roast Richie and Lowski, seeing how the Jets can beat teams on a consistent basis.
Oh, looks like we got Neil in here too. So DTN, why don't you let me know your thoughts on this Patriots game that they're going to be playing tomorrow? What are your matchups that you're looking for? Do you have a score prediction? And ultimately, who do you think wins this game?
I think this is going to be more of a defensive matchup, since both teams are since both coaches are defensive-minded head coaches, and also they're rookie head coaches. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm keeping an eye on how well Christian Gonzalez plays, just because how well he played against Jamar Chase. I'm curious if he can do it again against DK or maybe Lockett. Maybe get the same results that he had last week against Jamar Chase. But yeah, I'm curious to see him continue that progress and hopefully get the first interception of the season. It was nice that he got an interception off of Tyreek Hill last season, so maybe we can get more out of him.
Yeah, I think Gonzo's an absolute dog. Honestly, I like how the Patriots secondary matches up against the Seattle Seahawks offense. Like I said, Kenneth Walker is a dog, and I think that despite how good the Patriots run defense is, playing against him is hard. I mean, he's going to still get some good runs on you. It's going to be hard to stop him when, the Seattle Seahawks have to run out the clock and dominate time of possession. But now that they're going up against backups, the best run defense or the second best run defense in the National Football League last year and still one of the best throughout week one. I feel confident, like I said, taking that run game away, making them one-dimensional, make them win by Geno Smith beating the Patriots through the air. Not Christian Gonzalez, but a Jonathan Jones. Last week, he was the second highest graded cornerback in the National Football League. What I see happening here is he's going up against Tyler Lockett, and that's a good matchup. I really, really like the Patriots' odds with Jonathan Jones against Tyler Lockett. Both of those guys are older, right? John Jones on the back end of his career, Tyler Lockett on the back end of his career. It's not like one guy is significantly more athletic than the other, right? But also the size. They're both a little bit of smaller wide receivers, both kind of the same playing style. So I'm really, really excited to see Tyler Lockett and Jonathan Jones go up against each other. But I feel confident in saying that for the most part, Jonathan Jones will do a good job in being able to go up against him and play that one-on-one matchup. Although it'll be interesting to see how much John Jones versus Tyler Lockett will get, because I don't expect the Patriots to run a primarily man-to-man defense in this game because Geno Smith is more of a mobile quarterback. What was shocking is like last week they ran, it was either 60 or 40%. I got to look back, but they ran either 60 or 40% zone defense. The fact that they ran as much zone defense as they did was surprising because Joe Burrow was obviously out T. Higgins. He's not a mobile quarterback. So I thought they would play a lot more man-to-man. This game makes a lot more sense for them to play more zone rather than man-to-man because they have a lot better options in the receiving game from wide receiver to tight end. Geno Smith, I know, likes to sit in there in the pocket and make the plays rather than scrambling out constantly, but he still has the ability to do so. Definitely more of an ability than Joe Burrow, right? And then you look at this Christian Gonzalez side of things. He's going up against DK Metcalf, and I feel confident in that one-on-one matchup. But if the Patriots really want, what they could do is if they just completely trust John Jones against Tyler Lockett, what they could realistically do is say, Gonzo, we love you, but the biggest threat in this game is going to be DK Metcalf. If they can take away that run game, Geno is going to just throw the ball up to DK time after time after time and just give him those opportunities to make 50-50 ball catches, because that is what DK's job is. That is who DK is. That is his bread and butter. That is how he wins, right? And if they really want to shut him down, they say, Gonzo, you're our number one corner. We trust you, but we're going to put you on DK and we're going to give you safety help over the top to truly be able to neutralize him, to where really at that point you're saying, Geno, you can try to go ahead and give 50-50 opportunities to DK, but if there's two defenders on him, at some point we're going to end up making a play on him, and that's why you essentially shut out DK. And then you're saying, okay, well now you basically have to win this game by throwing to Jackson Smith-Njigba. And can he beat the Patriots by strictly throwing to Noah Fant and Jackson Smith-Njigba? I don't know. But if that's how you're game planning and that's how you're essentially telling him you'll have to win, I feel confident in the Patriots' ability to. I mean, even if we're talking about what Gonzo has been able to do against all of these wide receivers he's gone up against so far in his NFL career, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson, and Jamar Chase. A.J. Brown, that was his first ever matchup in the NFL. 19 routes, 4 receptions, 47 yards. Devontae Smith, 11 routes, 2 receptions, 22 yards, pass breakup. Jalen Waddle, 4 routes, 1 reception, 15 yards. Tyreek Hill, 17 routes, 0 receptions, 0 yards, 1 interception. Garrett Wilson, 23 routes, 3 receptions, 18 yards. And Jamar Chase, 20 routes, 3 receptions, 14 yards. Now, DK Metcalf, he is going to be a much different animal, right? Because he has the size, he has the speed. But I think that Gonzo's already kind of gone up against somebody like that. Who, you might be asking? A.J. Brown, week 1, who, again, he only allowed about 47 yards to. Realistically, DK's not going for 0 receptions, 0 yards. But if you're able to hold him to a maximum of 50 total yards in the game, I would say you did a pretty damn good job at shutting him down.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of different animal, imagine if we went back to 2019 and if Tom Brady was still with the Patriots. Bill Belichick could have drafted DK Metcalf instead of N'Keal Harry. And now that N'Keal Harry is no longer with the Patriots, considered as a first-round bust, we could have got DK Metcalf instead, and the situation would have been a different story. But yeah, I could see if Gonzo locks on to DK Metcalf, and he only throws to Jackson Smith-Njigba. Also, I'm curious to see how Marcus Jones plays coming back of a season injury against the first meeting with Miami. So I wonder how well he plays.
Yeah, I mean, Marcus Jones too, man. I mean, he's had a great offseason, injury prone, which is the problem with him, but he has been an absolute baller. And even last week, being an absolute baller and having that fumble recovery that he had, which is a big piece on why the Patriots won that game. They're going to need those exact plays. But real quick, Neil, before we get into you and your thoughts on this game, real quick, want to give a shout out to my boy Michael Hyde with a $5 donation. My boy, you were in here like all stream long hearing about this matchup. You're clearly a Seahawks fan, not a Patriots fan. You came in, you showed some love, and here's what I'll say. Whether you're a Seahawks fan watching this or a Patriots fan, I have the utmost respect for Seattle, their team, their organization, and their fan base. There are a lot of teams, a lot of fan bases I don't respect in the NFL. The Seahawks, for some reason, they've always been one. I love watching the Seahawks play. I love their color combination that they have, easily one of the best in the NFL. And every time they play the Pats, I have to circle it on my calendar because that is always one of the best matchups that the Patriots can play year in and year out. So shout out to you, Michael. I appreciate you for being here. Good luck to your Hawks. Obviously, I hope they lose against my Patriots. But after that, man, after this week, I will be rooting for you guys all season long, man. And hopefully everybody stays healthy. Go Pats, Mike. Go Pats. I appreciate you. And then I want to get into this one too. My boy, Sean, believe that's right. Sometimes my eyes go a little cross when I'm streaming for too long. But Sean with a $10 donation comes in. And I know you, Sean. I believe you're from the AFC East Roundtable, if I'm not mistaken. I remember you. You said, hey, y'all have a good chance to win, but y'all losing week 3, 100%. LOL. I'm sorry for being a hater during week 1. But does May have a chance to start in the first half of the season? So to answer the last question first, I'm going to say no. I don't think that May does start the first half of the season. Now, maybe if there's an injury, that's a discussion we start to have. But I think when they signed Jacoby Brissett to an $8 million guaranteed deal, they said, we have a game plan. We're going to draft a quarterback. We don't know who, but we're going to take 1/3 overall. And this is how long we're going to develop them. I think no matter if Drake May plays better than they expected or worse than they expected, that is the blueprint that they're going to roll with. There is no reason to throw Drake May out here. The Patriots don't need to win games right now. And honestly, if Jacoby Brissett can continue to look as good as he did last week and continue to build on that, there's no reason to take him out. I mean, Drake May, he might look better from a physical standpoint, but at the end of the day, like, he's going to have rookie mistakes. And if the Patriots are going to win games and they want to win games this season, then I don't think that throwing Drake May out there in the fire is the best idea. But look at the blueprint for a lot of these quarterbacks all time. And even in the NFL today, some of the best have sat for an extended period of time, not just 1 game or 2 games or 3 games, but they've sat for extended periods of time. Tom Brady sat for like a year. Aaron Rodgers sat for several years. Jordan Love sat for several years. Patrick Mahomes sat almost his entire year. I think we'll see Drake May, but I think it's going to be later on in the season. And I think that's very dependent on how the Patriots play and Jacoby Brissett plays. If he continues to look good, the Patriots are winning games. I don't think they take him out. But, you know, if he starts looking like crap and the Patriots are out of contention by like week 8, then yeah, we could see Drake May come in sooner rather than later. But for the guys who don't know in the chat, Sean is a Jets fan essentially, and he says that we're 100% losing week 3. Sean, buddy, I hate to rain on your parade here, but let's see how the Jets play first, right? The Jets have a lot of controversy going on around them, and they've been all offseason. I tried to tell Richie, he didn't want to hear about it. They do have controversy. They do have controversy going around, you know, with
always do. 100%, especially with the
situation, and even the Sauce Gardner situation too.
Especially with the Hassan Reddick, I have no idea I don't think I've heard any source coming out of any reporters about like the Hassan Reddick situation. So I know he's gonna get fined a lot, but we shall see. Even NFL executives saying too, they're like, at this point, they need to trade him. So things don't sound good on that front. And I think we saw that y'all need Hassan Reddick. Y'all should pay him whatever the heck he wants, because it was very, very clear that in the absence of Hassan Reddick, it hurt you guys. Yeah, what's up, Neil?
I don't get, coming in, he wants money, right?
100%.
Then why you take him on when down the road, you're not going to pay? Like, it's just contradictory, you know what I mean? Then in the first place, don't even take him in the first place, bro. Now that you have him, just give him the money for this year, bro. Like, just let it be. I mean, he'll be a great addition to your defense, which is already loaded as what I think as loaded as they are. Like it's weird. It kind of makes you feel bad, but it kind of makes you laugh. It's like it's every year this mess, you know. But
Neil, I agree with you. If Reddick was signed before the season start, the defense for the Jets, they should have stopped Morgan from getting like above 100 yards. And because they allowed like 140 yards and a touchdown on the defense, this is on Robert Saleh.
Yeah. I don't think Robert Saleh is all that. And, you know, Neil, I think you hit upon it perfect. It's just the fact that you know that the Eagles were trading him because they didn't want to pay him and he wanted a new contract. And if your organization is that messed up to where they couldn't figure things out to give him the money, you trade for a guy and they thought, oh, we're different. You know, we're a different team than the Eagles for some reason. I don't know why. The Eagles are a better team, but for some reason the Jets thought that they were different and they wouldn't need to pay him. I don't understand why. That is step one when you're trading for a guy that wants a new contract. But you know, I think the Jets have a great team. Like I said, they have one of the best rosters on paper. And here's the thing. I'm not even going to say that the Jets are done because they got swept by the 49ers. To me, it's just the fact of what we learned from that game. Now, I want to see what the Jets can do this week, because if they play a close game against the Titans, I think it says a lot about the team. If they lose to the Titans, it says a lot about the team. This should be a game that the Jets use as a confidence booster, and they should have a confident win coming out here. But, you know, even against the 49ers in that game, I mean, your defense is your bread and butter, and they couldn't stop jack crap. You looked like one of the worst defenses in the entire National Football League week one, especially that defensive line did absolutely nothing. And you allowed a backup running back who found out that he might be starting a couple of days before the game, and you allowed him to rush for like 140 some yards.
Bro, that's gonna hurt him.
At the end of the day, let's not say that the Jets suck just because the 49ers beat them. But at the end of the day, there were Jets fans saying that they were going to the Super Bowl and that they would see the 49ers and they would beat them. And if you see the 49ers at any point over the next few years, I don't think that you should feel confident in beating them in any way, shape, or form. Again, I'm not giving all of my hope up on the Jets, but I think that we saw that there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with New York, and that this team is not a 12, 13 win team like everybody said. And I tried to stand on that, and nobody believed me. So again, yes, let's not say that the Jets aren't going to be as good because they got swept by the 49ers, who are one of the best teams in the league. But it's the fact that if you are a Super Bowl contender, if you are a real threat in the playoffs, you at the least, yes, it's fine if you lose that game. I believe even if they lost, it could have been a moral loss. But even if you lose that game, you keep it close, and that is a statement. You guys getting blown out as much as you did, you should not feel confident that you are winning playoff games if you even make the playoffs. But my boy, I appreciate you for being here. Shout out for the $10 donation. We might lose week 3. Let's see. If the Patriots end up being 2-0 and the Jets are 0-2 or 1-1, I feel confident that the Patriots can win that game because of the momentum that they have. The atmosphere and the mentality of the Patriots would much clearly be better than what it is in New York. And I'm somebody that believes the mentality and the mental aspect of things can really drive a team more than just the overall physical talent that they have. Brother, shout out to for you for being here. But Neil, I want to get your thoughts before we log off here on this game. What are your matchups for Patriots versus Seahawks? What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think wins? And what's your final score prediction?
So I really think we're gonna win this. The score you may not agree with.
Oh boy.
We scored 16. People didn't expect us winning last game. We missed just a few 2-3 key throws that could have got us even more points than we had. By a pretty decent amount. When I look at this matchup, you have Seahawks who don't have Walker. He's doubtful, which means he's gone. Your right tackle is doubtful. He's gone. You got a linebacker and some other people on defense are out. That's going to hurt them. When you have that many problems, what the Patriots will do is you put Gonzalez on DK. You get Jonathan Jones on Lockett, like you said. You're going to force it on Nijba. How much can you do with Nijba? That's going to corner him out. You put the pressure with the D-line. That should hold them up enough where your defense either gets you a score or your special teams throw something and get you a score. So that way we end up getting 23 and winning 23-20, in my opinion. It's going to be still a close game, but I think you run it properly like we did last game. but you pass more, which I think Jacoby will do. It just some throws that he missed, that he didn't catch on to, and if he could make those, he could get at least a touchdown to throw, and that could work out a lot better for us. I really think it's a close game, but because of those injuries, like if Walker was playing, I could have probably said Seattle probably won this because it's the way Walker runs, and it's like to fight a team with also a run game that could pass better than us, and that'll be our disadvantage. But he's out, and your right tackle is out, which is gonna give us favorability in terms of D line, but also our run game as well, where you guys don't have your running back, and we could beat you in terms of the running. And then it puts more pressure on Gino to pass, which could lead to picks if it's done right, or at least fumbles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
I agree with
And
you. I agree with
I do see some people just asking real quick about the linebackers for Seattle, saying what's kind of their status. So real quick, their linebacker, who's really an edge rusher for them, but it's like Matthew Judon, right? Matthew Judon was listed as a linebacker, even though he was an edge rusher. And Seahawks fans, y'all are going to butcher me here. Y'all are going to butcher me because I can't say his name. It's like Ochina Nwosu. I can say the last name. Nwosu with the knee. He is officially out. But you do have a couple of linebackers that are questionable. I do think they'll play. But they do have two linebackers that are questionable. Terrell Dodson with a shoulder injury and linebacker Jerome Ford with a hamstring injury. But let me get back here real quick. So DTN, real quick, why don't you just kind of recap here for us your thoughts on this game and just give us one last kind of opinion there. Who do you think is going to be the MVP in the final score?
So basically, I think that if my MVP could go for Ramondre Stevenson again, if he manages to have that same success like he had against Cincinnati, just because the fact that the fact that Seattle last year had issues against the run last year, and if Seattle has that same issue against the run, this could be Ramondre Stevenson's breakout game again. So I could have him as my MVP. For my score prediction, I could see a 20 to 17 Patriots, but we shall see how well the offense plays, because I know the defense can make plays. We just need to see how well Jacoby Brissett plays, and I just want to see if we get to see Jalen Polk getting some starlight or whatever. Hopefully, Demario Douglas gets some more receiving yards, all of that, because last game we see Austin Hooper, Hunter Henry getting most of the reps, most of the receiving yards. Let's just see how well the young wide receivers do. So that's my takeaways for this game.
I like it. I would say my MVPs offensively, I'm going to go with the same guys, honestly. I'm going to go with Ramondre Stevenson, MVP on offense, and then defensively, I'm going to go Keon White. I think they're going to continue to get those matchups. Like I said last week, 2.5 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and a forced fumble, especially with them missing now another piece of that offensive line, which wasn't really ranked all that well according to PFF last week anyway. I think that he is absolutely going to eat. I think that this is going to be a game of defenses. I don't trust the Patriots offense, and with Kenneth Walker potentially out. We're talking about him like he's out, so I hope that we don't regret this. I'm expecting him to be out. I think they'll be able to shut down that running game. I don't think that they're going to be able to score as much points as they did against the Broncos last week. So I could see this being like a 16-19 game, but I don't know. I don't really trust the Patriots to score that many points. So right now, I'm going to go with a pretty similar score to what it was last week, and I'm going to go 13-16. Patriots end up winning. I originally had this being as a loss for the Patriots when the schedule first came out, but seeing that this team is different, seeing kind of the atmosphere and the mentality and the motivation from the Patriots team on and off the field, the players, the coaches, how emotional they were after that win, I think that they are going to be riding this high into this game. Patriots fans are going to be riding this high. Gillette Stadium is going to be bouncing, and they're going to find a way to end up winning this game. But, guys, that is going to end it. Go ahead, Neil.
So for the offense, I honestly think I agree with you, but Stevenson would be nice, but honestly, I need to throw a little surprise. I think Douglas is going to cut him up this time. Okay. you're going to have Stevenson running probably a decent amount of yards, 80 something. They're switching around more so with Gibson and them. But I think you're going to really see Douglas cut it up more. Being able to – Jacoby's going to pass more, bro. He's going to have to this game. And I know Mayo had a little presser about that. So I think that's going to happen on offense. And on the defense, I think White's going to really kill it. He's probably going to get to 3 sacks and 2.5 sacks again.
I like it. I like it. But guys, that is going to end it for today's kind of preview for week 2, Patriots versus Seahawks. Guys, please do not forget to be here. This is your one-stop shop tomorrow, guys, in the chat. I want to see the chat bumping tomorrow during the live watch party. Again, we will be here starting at 1 o'clock to break down the game, live play-by-play, live reactions, bringing up your chat, your opinions. This is the place to be for every New England Patriots game. Go ahead, sit down on your couch, sit back and relax, watch the game, grab your phone, listen to some Patriots Global, get in on the live discussion. We are going to be having fun all football season long. We'll be live on Bleacher Report after the game to do a post-game recap, and then back on YouTube to do a post-game recap, where if you are a Patreon member, you can kind of come in and share your thoughts on what happened with the game. Of course, make sure if you guys have not already, if you want to have some extra fun this upcoming football season, these are the lines for the Patriots week 2 game against the Seahawks. If you're a Seahawks fan, you think you're going to beat the Patriots, go ahead, put your money where your mouth is and choose the Hawks. If you're a Patriots fan, want to make some extra money, we're the underdogs at plus 150. And if you think they're going to win, put your money where your mouth is. Go ahead and sign up for BetUS. Use that promo code YouTube150, YouTube150. That's YouTube150 to get a 150% sign up bonus on your first 3 deposits, all the way up to $2,000. We got a long day tomorrow of streaming, guys, a long day of work for your boy, but I cannot wait to see you guys, grow with you guys all season long, and just bond together as a family. I can't wait to see you guys. I appreciate you so much for watching. And most importantly, guys, never forget, go Pats.
Go Pats.
Go Pats, baby.